day late and $1 short. This is Corey, and this is the O The Anthem podcast.
Good afternoon, everybody. It's Rob. Welcome to episode 216 of the O The Anthem podcast. It is 9:07 p.m. That makes it 12:07 a.m. Eastern Time.
Yep.
And O The Anthem is live from coast to coast, broadcasting from the beautiful #OTALA studios, high above the 110 freeway in downtown Los Angeles, California. Thank you for joining us.
Yes, thank you for liking. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for, what else can they do? Tweeting at us.
Being a friend.
Yeah, being a friend. Thank you for being a friend.
Absolutely.
And yeah, here we are.
And
ready
of course,
to go.
you can follow O The Anthem on all your social networks at O The Anthem. Make sure you are liking on Facebook. If you're watching us right now, of course, live, you are a fan of us on Facebook. That's O The Anthem on Facebook. Make sure you like the page and you turn on those notifications so that you get an alert whenever we go live. You can join us for the show, and you can comment in the comment section. We'll be taking comments live during the show, or you can text the listener line during the show or at any time during the week. 443-219-7595.
What's that number again?
That's 443-219-7595. And, of course, you can follow at O The Anthem on all the rest of your social networks, Twitter, Instagram, and Google Plus if you hate yourself like that, or Snapchat, everywhere. And, of course, you can follow both of us at the places below. At Robert and Cheek for me, all your social networks.
At Legend and CB5 or /Corey Baker Film on Facebook.
Absolutely. So we got a lot to get to this week, but, of course, as always, let's start out with the normal
Opening to the show
say
recently.
the normal opening to the show, but the normal opening to what seems like every show now, because everyone has stolen our opening, and that's, of course, so yeah, a little bit to talk about this week. Of course, your team has continued.
We're talking about the Capitals, I assume. Because
Wait.
it's not the Orioles.
Is there another team that's playing that we should be worried about?
Yes, the Capitals already played one game of the Stanley Cup so far.
Right. Did well.
They lost, but they were in it. Some questionable refereeing went into it, but
I would agree with that.
it's okay. Well, it's a long series, and we'll see what happens from here. I sort of predicted that this was going to probably go on for a little while.
Yeah.
So if you lose one, it's not really the biggest deal in the world, especially if you win game two. Then it just evens it up, and it
And
just
then
makes
you go
it.
back to D.C.
Yeah.
Because right now they're playing in Las Vegas. And I have to say, God, why doesn't every sports team or every sports league have a team in Las Vegas?
Or just have the people who are in charge of the pregame show.
Oh, that's true, too.
I mean, like, just hire those guys for your Arizona Coyotes games.
I got to say, when we were watching it, the first thing that came to mind was like the 90s Bulls, where for the first time, I think, a team said, you know what? Let's use the floor as part of the show. We're going to black out the stadium, use the laser lights on the floor, and use spotlights that spin and, the whole nine. And what we saw at the opening of the Stanley Cup was actually the next generation of that.
Well, what's interesting is obviously this is the first hockey game Rob's watched maybe ever.
Yeah, no, I've caught a couple.
Because they've been doing this for a while. They've been doing it for the Caps for sure for the last probably like 7 or 8 years now.
I've never been.
The only difference is that the Golden Knights have the whole production with like the actors and stuff like that the Caps do. Usually they'll just project onto the ice.
Yeah.
Whatever they're trying to just like an extension of the video openings and stuff like that.
This one had the actors who were like firing arrows, which then projected onto the ice. And
by the way, sword fighting is pretty difficult to do without hurting somebody to begin with, and then add in the extra difficulty of on skates. And I don't know, I just really enjoy it. I know it's kitschy. I know it's like
it's a thing.
It's a thing, but I enjoy it, and I enjoyed it when I was in Vegas to see it earlier this season.
And I would like to say, for everybody who's listening to this on the podcast, we are, of course, a day late. We'll talk about that when we talk about the weekend a bit more. But to everyone who's joining us in the chat right now, thank you for joining us, and a special shout-out to Ashley. Yes, Ashley, sports. That's my thumbs up sports. That's my reaction as well. So the production was good. The game, I think, was good. And, it's the kind of thing where like I know enough of the rules of hockey that I can follow along, and it was turning into a football game by the score at the end. It was like 7-6 or something, like
6-4. Yeah,
6-4. And, that's 2 safeties, I guess. Or
2 safeties, 2 field goals. The most boring football game ever.
Or the most exciting. You never know.
Yeah.
Could be a very exciting game. But otherwise, I think it was a fantastic game. And now we're looking at game 2 tomorrow night. And we had a few beers while we were watching the game, and probably a good choice not to record last night because, who knows what hot takes might have happened.
Oh, yeah. I mean, like, clearly I would have just ripped into everybody if I had the opportunity to have a mic right in front of me. It's good to have a day to decompress.
Yes. But overall, don't forget that since the Caps are still alive,
and still haven't won the Stanley Cup yet.
Now, still time to grab your Win a Cup or Kill Me Already t-shirts. Corey's not wearing that t-shirt right now. He's wearing the other Baltimore sports team t-shirt. But you can get this at otheanthem.com. Make sure you go to the OTA merch store tab, and you can grab a Win a Cup or Kill Me Already t-shirt. I want to say this might be the difference maker. Maybe it's people wearing this shirt to the Capital One Arena.
Yeah, all the people who've ordered it so far are looking like they've made a wise investment.
Yeah,
because this might be the thing that turns it all around.
Yeah,
I remember I went to Boston during opening day, the first year they won the World Series.
Right.
And they were handing out Break the Curse cookies. And I got a Break the Curse cookie, and I ate it, and then they broke the curse. So maybe the people who, I'm not saying that I'm solely responsible for this, because clearly, there's bigger forces than me at the helm here. But,
right. But maybe
maybe
juju.
you can't say that this isn't part of it.
No.
Part of the time that I spent to make a shirt that would be completely irrelevant.
And I mean, honestly, they may win a cup.
Yeah, I know.
So who's to say?
Crazy.
But of course, we'll keep you updated next week. It won't be done by the next podcast, right? Because it's every other day.
Yeah, I mean, unless it's a 4-game sweep.
Yeah.
I don't imagine it would be done before next week. So. Right. We'll keep an eye out, though.
Yeah.
We'll keep you updated. Quick question, though, just in relation to Orioles and Capitals talk.
Sure, yeah.
Before Game 1, Buck Showalter did a pregame interview where he was wearing his Caps jersey, the one with Showalter written on the back.
Of course, yeah.
Right before a game against the Washington Nationals. Do you have any problem with that?
No. I mean, he's got to cheer for a team that's winning. Clearly, it's not the team he's fielding, so,
I heard some minor blowback from people who are just like, oh, I don't know if you should have worn the Washington jersey on the day that we're playing the Washington team. It's like, I don't think you can really control that much. That's just sort of a weird.
And I think if Baltimore had a hockey team, it would be different. But the Capitals are the DMV area team.
Yeah,
it's for everybody. You're not going to be a Flyers fan if you're from Baltimore. I would guess.
There's some.
I
just
would wager that those are Eagles fans as well. The Flyers fans are Eagles fans.
To an extent, yeah.
And Phillies fans.
Yeah, and there's some Pittsburgh fans, but they're also Steeler fans.
Right,
kind
exactly.
of thing. Yeah.
So, I mean, I think that if you are from that, from Pennsylvania and you have chosen your allegiances and then moved to Baltimore, it's different than just being like, hey, I grew up in Baltimore. We haven't had hockey except for the Coyotes minor league hockey team or whatever it was, the Raccoons. What was it?
The Baltimore Bandits.
They
were
the Raccoons.
They were
Pandas.
They were the Mighty Ducks.
Ah, yes.
AHL affiliate.
Yeah. How long did that last?
A couple years. It was a lot of fun, though. I have fond memories of Bandits games.
Yes.
I remember my friend Chris had his father had season tickets to the Bandits. So I was always trying to convince myself into going with him.
Yeah.
And once he was just like, I don't know, you're really going to have to step it up to convince me you want to go to this game. I drew a picture of him with he was kind of a dumpy looking guy like me. But I drew a picture of him with these outrageous Hulk muscles.
Yeah.
It was just I pick you to go to the game. And he thought that was funny. So
the things we do to go see minor league Ducks hockey in Baltimore. But just as a reminder,
see the Ducks before they're the Ducks.
Before we move on to more depressing topics, again, make sure you go grab your T-shirt at otheanthem.com. Help support your favorite podcast and support your favorite team. And I mean, if you're a Caps fan, first of all, Caps fever has taken over.
Yeah,
people who I have never heard tweet about or Facebook about hockey ever before are like hashtag rock the red, hashtag DC, or all caps.
Yeah.
Hashtag all caps.
It was even funny to have Tabitha was here for a second, and she was watching the pregame and she was into it.
Yeah.
She was just like, oh, this is what hockey's like. I could do this.
No. They take off the costumes after. Yeah, it's not LARPing. Although LARPing might get more fans. I don't know.
Who knows? I mean, like, if Ovechkin just has eagle wings throughout every game, that might be something.
And the other team has to play, instead of a hockey stick, they have a sword. Like, that might work.
That won't get dangerous when you cross-check somebody right in front of the goal.
Anyway, make sure you grab that shirt at OTheAnthem.com at the OTA store. You can also grab a whole other selection of shirts, including ones that support the other Baltimore sports team that we're going to talk about now, the Orioles.
Yeah.
Now, there was a message that was put out by Dan Duquette, I think, early in the season.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, paraphrasing, don't jump ahead. Don't jump the gun on this team. Let's wait till Memorial Day, and then we'll see what we got.
Yeah.
And
I think I said something very similar when we started off.
Oh, it's so early. It's early April.
Yeah.
Give it to June. Let's see. So it's Memorial Day, Corey, and where do we stand?
Very far out of first place.
16-39?
Something like that.
22 games out of...
No, it's okay. It's time. If you don't believe in this team so far, no reason to start now. So... I did have a question I wanted to pose to you, since there's not really much to speak of in regards to the actual game going on.
Yeah.
So I thought I would pose this. So I was listening to Bird's Eye View, and they were talking about the worst case scenarios kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
If you get the alert, Manny Machado traded.
Yeah.
What's the power rankings of your 3 least favorite options to hear next?
Oh, to whom is he traded?
I think we can both agree consensus Yankees won.
Yankees won, yeah. I would also really hate to see Boston at the top of that list.
What if we just eliminated New York and Boston?
Then who are the 3 that you
what are
don't
the
wanna
three that you hear that you're just like, oh, God?
Washington.
Okay.
I don't think they're looking for anything, and they're not going to pay him what he needs to be paid.
Well, I mean, you only got to pay him for this year.
True. But I would really hate if Manny Machado won a World Series in the Baltimore area.
But with the Nationals?
Yeah. That would suck. I think I would really hate to see the Giants for a similar reason, because then he may take a team to the World Series that's so close, but not close enough for us to go see him in the World Series.
Right.
The opposite of that list is who would you love to see? I'd love to see the Dodgers pick him up.
Mm-hmm.
Be great to go see Manny here locally. That'd be fantastic. I'd probably have mixed feelings about the Angels.
Yeah.
Again, I don't think that they're going to be looking, because I don't think they're in the place to
make a move. Yeah.
Yeah. But again, it's a place we could go see him more often. But then they're starting to build that stacked team that might threaten next year. And really, the reason we hate the Yankees and the Red Sox is because we don't want to see him go and succeed. This is the Nick Markakis situation. You're choosing $4 million over staying. I want you to go and break your back somewhere. Brian Roberts, who we loved Brian Roberts. Then he went to the Yankees, and we're like, you know what? It's okay. Mid-April, he's going to slide into second, sprain his back. He'll be out for the whole year. And then mid-May, he slid into second and sprained his back, and he was out for 9 weeks. I don't think he ever came back from that.
No.
Yeah. So
I think he was done after that.
So I mean, that's the kind of thing. Is that's not going to happen with Manny. You're not going to. I don't want to see him have a Theismann injury on the field.
No.
But I also don't want to see him go to the stacked ass Yankees, which is just going to make that an almost unbeatable team. That's murderer's row 1 through 6.
I have a similar. I hear so many rumors about Manny to the Cubs. And I sort of have a similar thing where I don't something about the idea of him and Rizzo and Bryant and all the high powered Cubs just sort of I don't know, it just feels like a Harlem Globetrotter type of thing, where you're just putting every star together on one team.
And I'd feel that way about the Dodgers, except for I would be overcome with we can go see him way more often.
Yeah. Well, and the Dodgers have a lot of people who are superstars, but
they also have a lot of injuries right now.
Yeah.
So there's that. I would like to see him on the list of where I would like to see him go. A scrappy team like Houston that kind of seems to
the
beat
little
the odds.
underperforming.
Yeah, they just seem to beat the odds. I mean, yes, they're the World Series. They made it to the World Series, but they overperformed all the time last year.
That would be quite an infield too, with Correa and Altuve.
Yeah,
and Machado.
But again, my thing is less about the players on the field and more about going to the lineup coming out to bat.
Yeah,
and like you have some guys who can get on base and some guys who can like hit, but I don't hear a lot of names in that lineup that are hitting for power. And maybe Manny can go in there and be the guy who hits for power in there.
Yeah. I mean, Correa and Springer are both power.
See, I feel like they're more of the. I don't know why I think of Doman Young, and that's immediately what came to mind. Like the guy who can hit home runs, but like he's gonna give you a double with men on, and just like clear the bases. If you want to consider that a power hitter, I guess that's a power hitter.
Yeah, I mean, it's more than singles.
Chris Davis is a power hitter, and he's got his on base percentage is what, like 386 or something like that.
It's that high?
Huh? Oh wait, no, that's right.
Thought it was in the twos somewhere. Just feels like it's
Here's
in
a
the
question:
twos.
Can his batting average legally drive us home again? Is that a problem yet?
Not yet. It's not that low, but it's.
But honestly, like
every single day, he's out in the cleanup spot. I'm just like, what is going on here? I mean, clearly we don't have to really worry about wins or losses at this point, but you know.
And honestly, like part of me is almost hoping to see that Manny trade.
Yeah.
Like we've reached the point where mid-July is going to be the trade deadline.
Mm-hmm.
And I just would rather see us get that kind of like Bedard-esque trade where we get in some stuff that ends up 4 or 5 years from now really adding to the team.
Yeah.
Instead of like holding on to this asset until it's worth nothing to us at all. And if there was any chance of saving the season, I mean, if they go on a hot streak and they just win the next 25 in a row, okay, then maybe my opinion changes. Like it's the end of June, and I'm like, you know what? Maybe hold on and we'll see.
I still think we got to just do it because if we're not going to re-sign him,
right?
Like that would really be if you said there's a chance that we re-sign him, I would still want to trade him because I'd want to get the assets and then try and re-sign him in the offseason.
Yeah.
But I'm saying like. There's no indication that the Orioles have decided to be the Texas Rangers and just pay something they can't afford.
No. Yeah. And
then that just comes with the misery later of you like having to trade them to the Yankees, and then you're just like, oh god.
Kurt has joined us in the chat, and he says clean house O's, and frankly, I don't know who else they could get rid of. I mean, I'd like to see them get rid of Chris Davis, but
yeah, that's not happening.
Nobody's paying that contract right now. Adam Jones.
You could trade Scope.
But, I mean, he's honestly like, do you think Manny makes a deal where he gets to go with him? Like, I'll go and I want John to come with me.
I mean, that would get a bigger haul, I think.
Yeah. And I mean, if that's Dan's goal, it's like, all right, so we'll trade you these two players who want to play together.
Yeah.
But
then you need somebody who needs like a second baseman too. So like it would be harder to trade it. I guess you could do it.
Again, looking at the Dodgers who have a lot of injuries.
Seager's out, so that could work.
So yeah, Dodgers, listen to advice right here.
And I wouldn't mind seeing Machado and Scope in the Dodger blue.
Kurt bringing comments. Clean house. Jones. We can't get rid of Jones. Like he's going to be the transition piece between now and whatever's next.
I would like to re-sign Jones and just keep him.
Make him a lifetimer.
Yeah, make him a lifetimer. Yeah.
Keep Scope. I don't know why why anybody would be so pressed to keep Scope. I don't think he's like. I mean, that great a player.
I just worry that by the time Scope is, or by the time this team could win again, Scope will be either gone or in like the last year in a Manny situation of his own.
Yeah.
So like, why not just send him out and get the payoff? I mean, like I like Scope a lot. I like Manny a lot. I don't want to get rid of either of them.
Yeah, but we're not.
But I mean,
winning,
like as far as like a straight business deal goes, like you really should just be selling anything that could bring any value.
But again,
unless it's the only one I would be like hesitant to move per se is like Gausman or Bundy, just because I think that there's a chance that maybe they would be still in it by the time we turn this all around.
Yeah, and there's also a chance that we trade them to a team and they start throwing perfect games and go to the World Series.
I mean that always happens too.
That fucking hurts. So I don't really want to do that. It seems like pitching is not the problem. The pitchers aren't the problem. The pitching staff seems to be the problem because they can't pitch for us, but everywhere else they seem to. Be fine.
Yeah. As soon as they get traded to the Cubs, they're Cy Young Award winners.
Yeah. Weird.
Real quick before we move off from SportsBall, because
Yes.
we had one last thing that we did this weekend.
Yeah.
We went out and saw the LAFC match.
We did, yes. So we've been talking for the past couple of weeks about wanting to go catch Major League Soccer here in LA. And I keep forgetting, where do the Galaxy play?
Down at the StubHub Center. So that's like all the way down in by the airport.
Oh, the west side?
No, south, like way south.
Oh.
I can't remember where it is exactly. It's like 40 minutes away, south.
40 minutes, like actual 40 minutes, or 40 minutes, like it should be 40 minutes, but it's going to turn into 22
Should be 40
hours.
minutes. Probably turns into 2 hours. But
Okay. Yeah, so we're never going to go see the Galaxy play. But LAFC...
Nor do I want to. They're the Yankees, the MLS. I can't do that.
But LAFC are playing at a gorgeous new stadium.
Carson.
Oh, they're in Carson.
Yeah.
All right, so that's where we'd have to go to see the Rams, too.
Right. No, the Chargers.
Chargers, yeah. And I don't want to do that either. But the LAFC plays in a beautiful stadium, the Banc with a C of California Stadium, right south of us here, right off of USC's campus.
Oh, what do you know? It's actually only 21 minutes away right now.
Right now.
Yeah, right now.
At 9:30 p.m. on a Tuesday.
Yeah.
But we went out to Banc of California Stadium, which is at Exposition Park, where the Memorial Coliseum is, and basically where the center of the 2028 games will be. You guys will all be able to see that in 10 years when the games come here. And I'm sure that part of the deal is that is going to be one of the feature stadiums.
Oh, I'm sure it'll
for the Olympics.
Yeah, it'll house something right there.
Yeah.
Along with the Coliseum and Staples Center and all the others.
God, just thinking about that gets me excited. Like, it's going to be 10 years, so it's like 10 years. But one, we'll have a subway system that's actually decent. And
Hopefully
it's
done by then.
Like, we'll be able to, if we're still in the downtown area, we'll be able to have a $5, theoretically, Uber to Olympic events.
$5, assuming that we don't get stuck in all the traffic and congestion and stuff like that. But I'm saying, like, I do like to drive by, like, the subway stops, and I see people, like, standing outside with, like, signs, like stop signs to, like, block traffic in case, like, a backhoe needs to come out or something like that. I just want to be like, come on, guys, finish it up. Let's do it. Come on now.
Yes. But the game itself was fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean, I've never seen live soccer before other than playing live soccer, which I haven't done since I was, I don't know.
I've only seen like the friendly that came to M&T Bank Stadium between like Liverpool and Manchester or something like that. But that wasn't a serious game, and like everybody was so half speed on it that like it felt very much not like real soccer.
And we've gone to a lot. We went to several blast games. But indoor soccer and MLS are worlds apart.
Yes.
Just field size and
action.
A lot. I mean, it's soccer. Major League Soccer is a slow burn compared to the blast, because it was like very like goal. You know, there's a lot of movement.
If you ask me if this was a choice I was allowed to make, I could only spend my fan dollar on either LAFC or the Baltimore Blast, though. I would totally pick the Blast.
Probably so. And you get more for your dollar at Baltimore Arena watching the Blast.
Also, you don't get fucking hassled by the security.
Oh, my God.
Trying to come in with a purse. Not me.
That
Rachel.
is 2 inches too big.
Yeah.
Literally 2 inches too big. But nope, can't do it. Sorry.
Right.
It's 6x6. It's got to be 4x6, or otherwise you can't bring it in.
Or else there's a bomb in it. Clearly, there's a bomb in it.
Oh, but this lady with her 9x15 baby bag,
yeah,
totally fine.
Right. Well, she's got a baby, so
yeah. Well, I mean, that's all you guys got to do is have a baby, and then you don't have to worry about it anymore.
No, thank you.
It will get bumped to the front of the line at amusement parks. Well, probably
just
not.
go right to the front of Disney.
I got a baby. Don't you understand? I'm trying to get on.
Get me to the front of Space Mountain. I got a baby.
But yeah, the game itself was pretty fun. One of the things that I hate about soccer, and I didn't really want to bring it up to anybody, but like it ended in a tie. They tied it up in the 88th minute. So after 88 minutes of like everyone being fired up, and I mean the cheering section was cheering.
The fan section.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, 32-52.
Whew. But anyway, so in the 88th minute they tied it up, and then like there's 2 minutes, and then they had like I think 9 minutes of like bonus time or whatever of injury time. By that time, like they put in this dude 99 Dio, who every time he touched the ball seemed to something go wrong.
Yeah, I didn't see what the point of him was.
Everybody was cheering for him too. Like I feel like we missed something with him, but
I just thought it was like Yasiel Puig, and they just like I thought I just misheard it, and they just sent Yasiel Puig out there, and I'm just like, oh, okay, he's not playing today with the Dodgers.
Yeah, he's got bright orange shoes on.
It's like a Deion Sanders, like
celebrity.
I play in baseball and MLS.
I mean, I guess you could. I guess cardio isn't really a part of baseball so much, but
I mean, like I think the problem would be when there's games at the same time.
Yeah. But I mean, you play a little Showtime style where you're just like, okay, I'm just gonna sit today. Today's my off day.
Yeah, I guess you
go
could
play MLS. Even though he probably could play every day, they're just not gonna let him play every day.
Yeah.
So, but nonetheless, the game was super fun. The stadium was gorgeous. Baltimore has been trying to build an MLS style stadium for a while now, out in west, south of the stadiums, but kind of still Westport, and I imagine it would look exactly like Banc of California Stadium. Just like a small version, a little stadium that's not just slightly bigger than the field itself. It feels very intimate. The seats we had were the last row in the goal side.
Yeah, behind the goal.
Still fantastic seats. I mean, maybe up in the top of the one side, it would have been a little worse, but I feel like there probably wasn't a bad seat anywhere.
I mean, like, especially compared to, like, if you set the last row in, like, a major arena.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you know what that feels like. But I don't imagine you would have the same feeling. Like, I feel like the worst view would be equivalent to, like, sitting, like, one of the first rows of, like, a 300 section almost anywhere else.
I was going to say, had really bad seats when we were in Miami. We were way up there.
Yeah.
For the Heat
game, yeah.
And I feel like the view is way better where we were in this stadium. And it was, like, the worst possible seat you could get. But,
yeah.
The Saturday games, one of the discussions we had was like, oh, this is a Saturday game. It'll probably be more packed. They do play on weeknights, and it might be worthwhile to make the trip down for $10 to a LAFC game on a Thursday night or whatever.
I'll keep an eye out on game time.
Yeah.
I just think my thing was I don't know if it was worth the money that we spent.
Probably not. Especially because the tickets went down while we were getting ready to go. But it's one of those things where, like, while I was watching, the price went up before it went down.
Yeah.
So, like, it went down and then went up and then it came down again and it was like, okay, buy at that price.
But I'm saying, like, it seems like $20 you said I could go see an LAFC game, I'd be like, yes.
Yeah.
I'd be in for $20.
Sure.
Once you start talking about like $50, I'm just like, eh.
And, you know,
I mean, obviously, you could convince if you said $50, but you sit right on the field.
Yes.
Then I'd be like, oh yeah, sure. I sit in one of those big, comfortable couch seats,
and then
down on the field.
Throw the ball back when it comes.
Yeah.
To it. Yeah, that would be good. But yeah, so we'll.
By the way, MLS, just let people keep the fucking ball. Like,
what is with you and her all talking about keeping the damn ball? Like, come on.
It's a great. It's such goodwill in baseball. You get to keep the ball.
Yeah, they go through like 1,000 balls a game.
Yeah,
they make maybe 6.
This
balls
isn't
total.
a serious sports league. You can't have 100 balls.
You want people carrying around a ball that they're going to throw on the field when
No,
they get upset?
I'm just saying you have one schlub who has like a rack of them, like a 3-point contest, sitting out like of the area, and then just like roll a ball onto the field anytime one goes out.
When DC United scored, people started throwing anything in their hands out on the field.
Yeah.
And you want them to have balls in their hands to throw out on the field too?
They're used to getting hit with balls. They're not used to getting hit with beers. That's the difference.
And there was no beer. I don't think there was beers. People weren't throwing beers, but like some people threw hats and.
I don't think you're allowed to drink in that section.
Oh, the fan section?
Yeah.
It would be a good decision because based on the behavior we saw, if that section got super rowdy and drunk, it would be bad.
You're not supposed to have cell phones out there. You don't sit. You just stand the entire
behind a
game.
rail. Yeah. And you're like dancing and pounding your feet. Like they were shaking the whole stadium. It was crazy. But it was a good experience and something I would like to do again, just not spend $50 on it. That would be great. But anyway, so that's sports ball for the week. So anyway, I did want to talk a little bit more about our weekend because, as I said, we are coming to you a day late right now. And the weekend, as I said in the video, if you guys checked out the video that I posted just a little while ago, right before we got started, or an hour before we got started, the weekend just got away from us.
Yeah.
Friday night, I feel like we did something Friday night. No, I went to the movies Friday night. I finally saw Avengers on Friday night.
And I finally posted my Avengers review.
Yes, with the most interesting screen cap you've ever seen. So make sure you check that out. at Corey Baker Filmmaker on Facebook and YouTube.
Yep.
And, of course, for CoreyBakerFilmmaker.com.
Yes, indeed.
So make sure you check out all those places. It's a very funny screen cap. I hope you guys enjoy it as much as I did.
I was watching some YouTube creator studio video series or whatever, and she, the lady who was leading it was basically like, every single one of my pictures was me just smiling for a year. And then I looked at it and I was just like, oh, nothing about this is like engaging or captivating or anything like that. I was just like, oh, that's a good point. I should come up with something that is more expressive for this one. And I was just going through the video, and the only one that I could find was like me, like,
yeah.
So
it's very good.
It's indicative of how I felt about the movie. So
yes. I'm gonna have to read the review because I don't even think we discussed it much about the movie. But
we just did broad strokes. We didn't get into like details.
So we'll have to do that. We won't bore you guys with our discussion about that. Also,
nor,
I don't want to spoil.
Nor do we want to spoil.
I was going to say, especially because I went on Friday night, and we were like, 7:30 show. Be no problem. Deadpool came out last week. Han Solo is out this week. Guaranteed it'll just be easy peasy. Nope. 7:30 sold out. Okay. Well, you know what? They still do have it in 3D. Can't pay a movie pass, but it'll be worth it. It's an 8:30 show. Let's go see it. Nope. Sold out. All right. Well, the next movie pass showing is at 9:30. I guess we could do that. Oh, there's one row of seats that are just available. Not
all
the
way
front
up
row.
front.
No, not the front row. It was the first row behind the up from the aisleway.
Oh.
Which we prefer to sit in anyway.
Yeah.
But for some reason, people were voting, I guess. Don't know why. But I was like, hey, this is available. Let's do the 9:30 instead, and we'll go have some food and some drinks and then come back. And we did, and the movie was good. But yeah, no, that theater was sold out for our 9:30 show 4 weeks after that movie opened.
Yeah. By the way, just a quick thing, in case you did want to watch my YouTube review, I did split the spoilers and the non-spoiler stuff. Okay. So I did a non-spoiler first part in case you wanted to just watch like what I thought about it as like a film kind of thing.
Sure.
And then gave a review or gave like a score for it. And then got into the spoiler talk. Because I feel like there's no way to really, like, talk about the movie without talking about what happened in the movie.
Yeah.
And I wanted to make sure it was partitioned so people could enjoy it properly. So if you're worried about that, if you haven't seen it and you're waiting for me to give you a thumbs up or down on it, then go forward, young child.
And I'm sure that you put a big warning when you cross over into the spoiler section.
Yeah, so. And there's big spoilers written on the
It's not like he's going to just jump in and be like, okay, so here's the ending of the movie. Anyway.
Batman's dead. No!
Vader is Luke's father. What? Oh, wait. Should I say spoiler alert before that? I
mean, I think it's past. I think we're okay at this one.
Vader literally means father in German.
They used it in Simpsons when Homer is walking out of like.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah,
the whole crowd lined up outside. He's just like, wow, I can't believe Vader was his father the whole time. It's like, oh, come on, idiot.
Anyway, so that was Friday. And like that's a normal Friday. But then you have the bonus of like, all right, tomorrow I'm going to jump into the day. I know I have that extra day on the end of the weekend. So I'm not really pressed for anything. And it was a nice day. It had been kind of dreary in LA for the last week or so. So we're like, you know what? Let's go out. Let's go do something. We took in one of LA's fantastic parks. It's the Los Angeles State Park.
Yeah, State Historic Park.
State Historic Park. And had a little picnic, played some baseball, felt it the next day. I think your description was most apt. The first couple throws of us playing catch felt like my shoulder felt like tectonic plates grinding against each other.
Exactly.
Just not wanting to do it. And then I forced it to do that. And the next day, I did not feel so good.
I just like when you get to the age where like you. When I was younger, I could just pick up a baseball and throw it as hard as I wanted. Like the first time out, I'd just be like, nothing stops me. Now it's like actually like part of like a like when I see like a boat like being dropped into the ocean, like they do it like really like slow and just sort of like. And then at a certain point, they're just like, all right, we can't stop it. It just goes in. That's sort of how it felt. It was just like the first couple of times it's like as stiff as I can to like just like hurl the ball, and then eventually I'm just like, I've gone too far, there's no stopping now.
I do remember again being like 9 or 10 and going out to baseball practice and like running out to deep center field and you're just like launching the ball back into the infield and being like, all right, got the arm nice and warmed up now. Meanwhile, Corey and I are standing maybe 10 feet apart doing easy catch to start out. Like, okay, no, I don't even want to rotate the shoulder.
Loosen it up.
Avoid it.
Loosen it up.
Let's get that working. But so we did the picnic, and that was lovely. And we made plans to go to Tijuana before we realized that Corey can't leave the country. Well, no, to be fair, you can leave the country.
Just can't come back.
Getting back in's a problem. So we're going to have to figure out that. So instead, we went to the LAFC game, which I think was a good compromise.
Yeah.
It's a national sport of Mexico instead of going to Mexico. So we watched that here.
The supporter section reminded me of Tijuana.
There was a lot of Hispanics in the, but also there are a variety of flags in the supporter section.
Yeah.
Super weird variety.
Well, so the supporter section is the supporter group for LAFC has like little tiny individual clubs that are involved in it. And like I know like they have like the Lucky Boys and the Black Flag 1852s or something like that. But each of them have like a different goal or like reason for being. So like I know one of them is like a family friendly, like you can bring your kids to the park and you all have fun
together.
Yeah, just playing soccer before you go into the match.
Right.
But like and then some of them are like exclusively like going to a bar drinking clubs. Yeah. I think the Lucky Boys are the drinking club.
Seems like the kind of name you would give to your drinking club.
Yeah.
Yeah. But what was it? Oh, so Saturday night we went to the game, and that's usually you get that little pang of regret on a Saturday night when you're like, only one day left.
Yeah.
But we actually went to bed early. I feel like on Saturday, relatively early, because we got up too early to go hike the Hollywood sign.
Yeah. By too early, it was like 11:30.
Yes, too early for a Sunday. But we did successfully hike from Lake Hollywood, the very short visible distance of, I don't know, maybe half a mile up to the Hollywood sign.
Yeah, something like
and
that.
It only took us 6 miles to actually get up there to the top. So it was a very long hike, but the kind of thing where when you get to the top, you're like, all right, I did that.
I conquered it.
Yes. And then you look down and you're like, oh, the car is so far away. Can we just get a ride back down the hill? I mean, we did the hard part.
Can't we just have a gondola that takes us to and from?
Yes.
They're talking about that, by the way.
Like what? A gondola down?
Yeah, there's going to be a gondola on the... Not a gondola. What am I talking about?
No, gondola.
The one that goes in the air, right?
Yeah. Like a ski lift.
Yeah.
On the Burbank side.
Burbank side.
Yeah.
Take you up to the top of the hill.
Yeah. Lazy. You got to earn that view.
They're going to do one on Dodger Stadium, too, apparently.
Oh, God. Okay, that I will 1,000% yes.
Union Station to Dodger Stadium, just a little gondola
up
ride.
The hill.
Yeah.
Why not?
Could make a funicular.
Funicular?
Yeah. Like Angel Slate.
Oh, okay.
Uphill railroad.
Sure. That's a real word.
It is a real word.
Okay. So we then Sunday it was like very sore, but we immediately came back. We're like, yes, let's do it. Pool time. Got in the pool, got in the hot tub, barbecued. We Memorial Day weekend the shit out of Sunday. And then Monday, you get that bonus day. It's fantastic. It's like, oh, usually I have to get up for work. And in fact, me, forgot to turn my alarm off that's automatically set for weekdays. And I was very upset at 8:15 when my alarm went off.
Funicular. Of a railroad, especially one on a mountainside, operated by cable and ascending, descending cars counterbalanced.
Funicular.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought you were saying vernacular, and I'm like, I have no idea what a vernacular is.
I was saying, to be fair, I said funicular, and it's funicular.
Funicular.
But yeah.
Nonetheless, so Monday was good.
There's your 890 SAT word for the day.
890 SAT word. Where was I? Oh,
they have some new system though, so it's like higher now. So what is it, like a 3,900 SAT word or something?
Yeah,
like that?
now it's like 2,600 total. Whatever that
today.
is. They also have essays, which thank God we didn't have that. God, Corey would have never passed the SAT if he had to write an essay.
I would have just put War and Peace down. Go ahead, judge it.
But so Monday we got up relatively late after being woken up early. Turn off the alarms that were accidentally left. Went to do our normal thing, and I feel like what do we do Sunday? Was it just lazy day? Oh, pool day.
Pool day.
So we did Sunday Fun Day Monday edition. And I did not think about recording the podcast once all day.
Yeah.
Because it didn't feel like a Monday.
Well, I said to you at like right before the Caps game, I was
Yeah.
just like, did you want to do this after the Caps game? And you're just like,
Well, I've been drinking for several hours at that point, and I knew I was going to continue drinking during the game.
probably should have thought about that earlier.
Yes. But no, so here we are on Tuesday night. We had a very lovely Memorial Day weekend, and you guys are definitely missing out if you're not following along at all the social networks here below. At Robert and Cheek everywhere there.
At Legends UB5.
Right. Especially on Snapchat. Because unlike some people, Rachel Sandridge, we don't share everything on Snapchat.
Leave a little bit of mystery.
Right, but we do give you a couple of hints about all the fun that we're having. And you're not going to want to miss out on that. So 4th of July weekend's coming up.
Yeah.
In a couple of weeks. So make sure you're following along by then so you can see our antics.
Many premieres over the next 2 weeks that I
Yes.
have to attend. So
Actually, shit, we got one coming this week, don't we? Wednesday.
No.
The 6th?
Yeah, that's next week.
What is this week? Oh, that's right. The 1st is until Friday.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, next week. Nonetheless. So one of the benefits of waiting until today to do the podcast, now that we have 20 minutes left and I don't really want to talk about any of this stuff, I would have much rather just talk about our fun time.
Yeah. I think it's nice every once in a while to not be so beholden by the news.
But then a racist asshole had to go tweeting stuff over the weekend and ruin our good time. And by racist asshole, I of course mean Roseanne Barr.
Not Trump, not the one you assumed.
Of course not. I mean, I'm sure you guys thought that. I'm looking at the list. No Trump news this week.
Yeah, no.
So, hey, feel good about that, guys. You're not going to have to hear about Trump.
We figured out a way to do it without him.
So, if you haven't been following the news, Roseanne has a hit TV show. Well, had a hit TV show on ABC.
Had a hit episode, really, more than anything. It was like...
No, highest rated show on ABC's fall schedule.
Well, I'm saying
spring schedule.
the first episode was like a humongous runaway ratings hit, and then every subsequent episode went down and down.
Yeah, but that's what happens with network TV. You get the look-in audience first, and you just want to keep... Was it? You want to keep 60% for episode 2, and I think they kept like 90% for episode 2, and then they kept 90% again for episode 3. Like it was above average retention over the course of the season.
Yeah.
And then when she had, I don't know, probably 1,500 people depending on her, probably
Not that many.
in a production.
No.
You don't think?
No.
I thought I saw that number earlier today. That all told 1,500 people were going to be looking for work now. I mean, pre-production, production, post-production, the staff of her production company.
I mean, I guess it could be. It just that seems very high.
Okay. Well, I mean, you would know better than me.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, a very large group of people are no longer going to have jobs because Roseanne.
Though I guess it is. How many episodes was it too?
I think they did 12.
Okay. I was gonna say if it was a 22 episode, then maybe 1,500 would have made sense.
Yeah, no, I don't think they did full.
I don't think they had 22. So
No. 12, I think.
yeah.
12, 15, maybe.
I don't know. I'll double check the math. I'll get back to you.
Nonetheless, much like our president, Roseanne couldn't keep her thumbs off her phone and had to tweet out, not for the first time, mind you, not the first offensive thing she's ever had, which I love the fact that in response to this, people are posting a picture she posted several years ago of her baking cookies in a Hitler outfit.
Yeah.
And then eating them. And somehow ABC gave her a show after that.
People cookies.
People cookies, yes.
Not just like cookies, not like the circular break the curse
gingerbread
cookies.
men style cookies. Yeah. That was okay. And like another great tweet I saw today, ABC was totally okay with Roseanne's racism so long as it didn't impact their bottom line. That's really what it came up with. We knew she was racist. We knew she was appealing to Trump voters. We knew that the bottom line of this was we were making money off something that probably wasn't great.
Well, I mean, this is a tried and true. I mean, like, you know, especially with comedians, you every once in a while you get one that's a little controversial.
Yeah.
And then they say something that goes too far as judged by the media at large, and then it's no more Russell Brand for you.
Michael Kramer. Michael.
Oh yeah. Well, that was a completely different.
Yeah.
That wasn't expected.
You didn't expect it?
No.
I just look at him and I thought maybe that'd be the case.
No, I mean, like, it's not like Roseanne where we had a demonstrated history where she would do things.
Yes, yeah.
Like never at any point before had Michael Richards gone into a comedy show before and just like, yeah, I'm just gonna rip a bunch of black people and call them the N-word. That'll show the audience.
Show 'em.
Yeah, I mean, like, I really don't care. I wasn't ever in the Roseanne, like.
Did you watch any of the episodes?
No, I never watched. I mean, like, I've seen some of it since it came out, but I never watched it like when it was out originally.
People asked me today, and I realized I had not seen any of the reboot episodes at all. Not even a second of it. And I don't think that I was saving it to binge. I just wasn't. I never liked her show.
Yeah, I never much cared for Roseanne. And I mean, like, it's like I was watching the first episode of Michelle Wolf's new Netflix show this weekend, and Rachel was with me for the first part of it, and then she was just like, I can't watch this anymore. Her voice is annoying. And I'm just like, this is sort of like, some people just find certain people annoying.
Yep.
And, like, I always found Roseanne annoying, and it's not like I wanted to watch it.
No.
Much like I know people who didn't want to watch The Nanny because they didn't like.
I was going to say the same thing. My sister loved The Nanny, and I had to put up with that voice.
Yeah.
Blah. Yeah.
Anywho,
scarred. Nonetheless, so I didn't watch any Roseanne. I don't feel bad that it's not on the air. It's not going to be on the air because I guess I buried the lead there. After this tweet, Roseanne was canceled by ABC
rather quickly.
Relatively quickly. I mean, the wheels moved very quickly.
Yeah.
Wanda Sykes had an opportunity to quit beforehand, and I think Sarah Gilbert also quit. And I don't know if either of those things factored into why they canceled the show. But Wanda had been kind of the big push to, I think Roseanne's show was under Wanda's deal with ABC. And she and another producer had tried to bring Roseanne back because they were like, well, they're business people. And they said, hey, you know what show really appeals to Trump voters?
Yeah.
Roseanne. You know who we want to get watching our network again? Trump voters. Let's put Roseanne back on the air.
See, here's the thing, though. Like, I saw all throughout the day on, like, Facebook and Twitter and stuff like that, like, certain aspects of my friends, my social media friends, posting things like, I stand by Roseanne Barr and they shouldn't have canceled her show or blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, really? Like, I was talking to my dad. I was just like, the normal course of action is she loses her job. Yeah. I mean, like, if this had happened to anybody who worked at, like, anywhere else, you would have lost your job. Yeah. Like, if you work at Starbucks and you said this to somebody, you would lose your job.
Yeah.
Like, that's just part of how it works. So let's not act like we're, like, so morally outraged that ABC fired her. But I mean, like, here's the other part. I don't think there's anything you can do to get banished to the island of misfit toys anymore. I mean, like, Michael Richards, I bet he was wishing that he did this in 2018 rather than 2008 or whatever it was, because
he was out. He's been out for so long he can't get back.
Yeah.
So now,
I mean, Roseanne's gonna be able to perform stand up.
Yep.
Comfortably in red states for the rest of her life,
all across the South.
Yeah,
she'll be hopping from Georgia to Mississippi for the rest of her life. Just playing whatever club will have her.
Yeah, but I mean, like, like Kanye didn't, like, lose any. Yep. Like, Kanye hasn't been banished from the world like Michael Richards was with his Slavery Was a Choice, or putting Whitney Houston's drug bathroom and
on Pusha T's album cover.
Yeah, or like any of these things, like. We haven't at any point said, like, all right, everyone, we're done with the Kardashians now. Like, anything associated with it is just over.
Can we, though?
Please,
honestly,
by all means.
Can we just be done with all of it? I would really like that.
See, I think the problem is that they buy so much of their news coverage.
Yeah.
That, like, all they have to do is, like, just take a picture of Kylie Jenner in a two-piece and then have 15 different websites, right? Like, did you see what the fuck Kylie Jenner is wearing today? And then that, like, just goes out on the internet, and then, like, half of the people who are sharing it are just like, can we fucking stop with Kylie Jenner? And, like, just because you shared it,
yes,
you've added to the momentum effect of it. I mean, like, I don't give a shit. I don't care if Roseanne is playing in Tuscaloosa for the rest of her life. I don't care. I don't want her to, like, lose the ability to, like, make a living or anything like that.
I do.
Well, I mean, that's fine. I'm saying I'd rather the free market just decide how much of a living she's allowed to have anymore.
Libertarians.
And if And if Tuscaloosa is willing to support her, then by all means allow that to be the case. Mm-hmm. But, she shouldn't have a network television show anymore. You just can't. She just doesn't exist in that plane anymore.
Yes. And again, her tweet, one of a history of very bad tweets, cost all of those people their jobs.
The other thing, too, is that she, after she apologized for that tweet, she was still going off about, like, how George Soros is responsible for people in the Holocaust dying, or I don't even fucking understand where that.
No. And Chelsea Clinton's married to one of his nephews, which is not the case.
Yeah.
I think it's just that kind of thing where you just like start throwing shit at the wall and hoping something sticks and covers the mistake that you made.
Yeah. Just more tweets will cover up the one, like, when somebody's just like, what did Roseanne tweet? And you look at her Twitter and you're just like, but people make fun of Soros all the time.
Yeah,
I don't understand.
There's a lot of batshit crazy stuff here. Alex Jones, though, I mean, he said all this stuff. But anyway, so
have you been following the coverage of his trial? By the way,
I have not been. I have no interest whatsoever.
I'm gonna just peek in every so often just to see what's happening. Just because
I can't believe it's still going on. I thought it started weeks ago.
I think it'd be real funny if he has to write a big check.
It would be. God, I hope he does. Anyway, so
Bill Hicks is gonna have to go back on tour to pay for all this Alex Jones money.
Bill Hicks is back from the dead all of a sudden. All right, so we have about 7 minutes left to go.
Yes.
Do you want a lightning round the last couple topics that we have?
Yeah, why not?
Okay, so we're going to keep these to, let's call it 2 minutes apiece.
Okay.
All right, number one. ICE has lost 1,500 children that they have forcibly separated from their parents at the border.
Yes.
Go.
I don't understand how the response to this is an absolute fucking outrage. Yeah. And, like, If you were of the mind that anybody who came into this country illegally should be sent back, and that they're criminals and they have no business being here,
animals, by the way, animals.
Sure,
yeah.
I didn't agree necessarily with how the media reacted to that statement, but I think I get why people were upset.
Remember when I was saying Corey's a member of the alt-right? There you go. Anyway, go ahead, continue.
I was saying that I think that even if you think that they're criminals and they should be sent back, I can understand where you're coming from with that. But that doesn't change the fact that we should treat even criminals or even people who are doing something wrong with basic human dignity. And separating children from their families and, like, basically you're just making you've added 1,500 new names to child trafficking rings. Basically, you haven't done anything other than make a lot of other problems worse.
Yep.
And there was no reason that you couldn't deport a whole family together, or why you had to separate anybody to begin with.
Well, because this jail has a contract with the government to hold children, and this jail has a contract with the government to hold women, and this jail has a contract with the government to hold men.
Yeah.
So in order to keep the 300 beds occupied that the government guarantees are going to be occupied at all times, they have to split up everybody.
Right.
To send them places.
But so, that shouldn't be the case either, you know.
No, absolutely shouldn't. And you know what? You guys didn't get mad a year ago when ICE tweeted a picture of a prison school bus full of baby seats.
Yeah.
Like, this was not a joke. They are doing this, and they have been doing this.
Right.
And we just found out that they lost all of these kids. By lost, literally do not know where they are.
Right.
May have been deported separately from their parents, may have been put in the custody of actual child trafficking rings. There may be organizations that are fronts for child trafficking that were like basically like, we'll make sure that these children get returned
watch
to
your
their
kids.
homes. Yeah. And the creepy guy with the white van that says free ice cream on the side of it is like, hey, I'll take 3 of those. I'll make sure they get back down to El Salvador, wherever they're from. And the government's like, hey, seems like a good deal to me. He's going to do it for cheap, so let's do it. And 1,500 kids are now missing.
Yeah.
So that's 2 minutes on that. We could go way more on that.
Yeah.
There's just a lot of outrage to go around. Like the fact that the death toll in Puerto Rico is likely over 6,000 in reality. The government's death toll currently published, 68. 68. So the American government says 68 people were killed in Hurricane Maria in Puerto Rico. The people on the ground are saying it's at least 4,500. It's likely over 6,000. By the way, as a reminder, it's been more than 6 months. Been more than 8 months now, probably. Still no power to most of the island. These are American citizens.
Yeah.
They are Americans.
It's like if this happened to Delaware.
Yeah.
What do we just like...
Whoops, sorry, Delaware.
I mean, like,
really, we should.
I mean, like, they don't... Sure, they're Americans, but I mean, like, they don't really fit in with the rest of the country. So, I mean, like, it's...
I think that's more true with Delaware than it is with Puerto Rico.
Yeah. But I'm saying, like... I'm just kidding. Please. Delaware... I mean, the thing is... Now I'm going to get a whole bunch of angry Delawareans, like, tweeting...
Is it Delawareans or Delawareites?
Delawareans.
Delawareans.
I'm gonna. How dare you make fun of my state? I'm gonna write a very angry letter to your publisher.
Please do. Corey at otheanthem.com. No, but they are citizens the same way that people of Delaware are citizens.
But I mean, like what's amazing is that we just don't have the mental space to keep up with any of these things. Like, Puerto Rico happens, and we're talking about it for a month, maybe
probably less.
But I mean, like, Flint doesn't have clean water yet. Like, that was years ago.
Yep.
And it almost feels like people are worried about, like, if we stick up for something like Puerto Rico, then we're going to not have room in our souls for the moral outrage of, like, Roseanne. Whatever Trump said. Yeah, or Roseanne, or like whatever the new piece of news, like, oh, did you know that Michael Cohen had a shady business partner and something about cabs and blah, blah, blah. I mean, like, to be fair, there's nothing we can do about people who have already died.
Yeah.
So the death count is kind of what it is at this point.
How about a proper burial for those people, though?
Well, that would be nice, but I'm saying, like, there's nothing we can do about the people who have already died. What we have to do is recognize that there are people who are still living in abject disarray.
Yep.
And we can do something for them to keep more people from dying, seeing as already an alarming amount have already died.
Yeah.
And maybe put safeguards in place so that this doesn't happen again. But it's Puerto Rico. Nobody gives a shit.
Yeah. And by the way,
I mean, it might as well be, like, what's the country that just had their election that, like, everyone makes fun of?
France?
No.
Italy?
The communism or the socialism.
Venezuela? Yes.
It's like, it might as well be Venezuela. Like, to the people in power, it doesn't feel like it's really a part of America.
Yes.
It's just some crazy little place that we're, like,
as Trump
keeping
said,
tabs on.
It's really hard to get resources there. It's literally 500 miles from the coast of the United States. But
it's like we haven't invented boats.
Or planes.
Yeah.
And just to keep in mind, there's an election coming up this fall of 2018, where the entirety of the House, 1/3 of the Senate will be up for election. They just voted last year $1.5 trillion worth of tax cuts to the wealthy. And one of the excuses is we don't have the resources to help Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
Also the reason that we can't help Flint, because we don't have the financial resources to do so. Also the reason that we can't do anything, the Department of Education can't, it really won't, but it can't do anything about the fact that teachers are literally walking out of classrooms all across the country. They're sick outs. They are marching to the state capitals for better pay, for better supplies. And Elizabeth Warren, to her credit, I saw her on Good Morning America or something this morning, and they are putting in a bill that says that they are going to undo the tax cuts only on the top 0.01%, which will free up $300 billion.
Yeah.
And that must be earmarked directly for improving teacher salary and improving classroom conditions. I saw
an interesting thing too, where it was like teachers say, yeah, we'll carry guns in class if you start paying us like cops.
Yeah. Especially the overtime.
Yeah, rather than $30,000 a year, you get $80,000 a year. That would be a lovely.
And you can clear $150 on all that overtime.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, grading papers late into the night, coming in for science fairs on Saturday afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
You really rack up those OT hours. especially
sitting in
Baltimore.
detention.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Anyway, so just keep that in mind when you go to vote. Flint
Wait.
doesn't have clean water, and Puerto Rico basically is a third world country.
See,
right
but there, we've talked about net neutrality, and I've said I'm a one-issue voter on that.
Yeah.
But I feel like there's like real logistical issue voter, which is like sort of in the way of like net neutrality, and then there's like, how the fuck are you still alive?
Yeah.
Kind of like issue. Like, I don't understand how Rick Snyder, the governor of Michigan, is still fucking alive. Like, I would have, if I heard that there were massive assassination attempts on him, that wouldn't have surprised me. Like, and I'm not saying somebody should do it. I'm just saying, like, if this sort of shit happened in Libya under Gaddafi, you'd hear for 3 weeks about how people were trying to take him out left and right. And, like, just everyone's just like, it's nothing. It's like,
listen, guys, guillotines are an option. Just so you know.
I'm just saying
Keep that in mind.
he should be in fucking jail.
I mean,
at the very least, he should be in jail.
Yeah.
And like, I don't understand how like people haven't gotten so upset by the miscarriage of justice that they haven't like tried to make something of it. I mean, like, I'd be outside if I was in Michigan. I'd be outside his house all the time. But I don't get why other people aren't. You know, I guess only so many hours in the day.
Well, we already spent way too much time on that topic because there's so much to cover. But again, keep in mind, Flint does not have clean water. Puerto Rico doesn't have electricity. They're Americans, both of those people.
Yeah.
Finally, this week, the story came out today about who the guy they're calling the Muslim Spider-Man. He was an illegal immigrant to France who, when he saw a child dangling from balcony, sprang into action, climbed 4 up-floor flights on the outside of this building to save the child's life.
Yeah.
He was subsequently given citizenship instantaneously by Emmanuel Macron, the president of France.
Macron.
And he was given a job as a firefighter with the city of Paris. And I don't bring that up to talk about him because I think that deservedly so, he is being rewarded for what was clearly a heroic action, especially because if that had been the United States, the likelihood is when he climbs down from the building after saving the baby and can't produce proof of citizenship, that he just gets deported.
Yeah, I mean, especially if it was in like Arizona or something like that. Yeah.
Do not pass go, get across the border. That's basically how it would work out for him. Oh, well, no, we need to hold you.
Well,
for
we'd
9 weeks.
we'd still be, even in America, we'd be putting out the stories of like, oh, this fucking Muslim who decided to. Did you know he committed crimes? Like, what crime?
Trespassed.
What crimes did he commit? Oh, he committed all the worst crimes.
He's
the
an
worst
animal.
crimes you can think of.
He's an animal, not even a human. But nonetheless, I didn't want to bring it up for that. I wanted to bring it up because 3 months ago, there were these huge anti-immigrant protests in France. Like hundreds of thousands of people coming out and saying, we are against illegal immigration. All of these people from Africa and Southeast Asia need to go. We need to get them out of our country, and especially the Muslims because they're causing all the problems. And then this guy acts heroic, and everyone's calling for him to be like venerated.
Yeah.
And it just goes back to the fact that it's so easy for people to treat illegal immigrants like they are not human, like they're not part of the society that we all live in, until they do something above and beyond. Now, half of the people who were marching in those like parades and then now later calling for the veneration of this guy didn't do shit except for be born in France.
Yeah.
And because of that, they get all of these great things that comes with being French, which isn't bad, by the way. Universal health care, 9 weeks of vacation every year, 3 weeks of paternity leave on top of the, 7 weeks of maternity leave if you have that. There's a lot of good things about being in France. Shameful history of giving up, but nonetheless, there's a lot of good things about being
Shameful history of backing down.
Yeah. But you were born there, and somehow that makes you better than this person. And the only thought that kept going through my head is, I joke about whether that when that happened here, he would get deported. The likelihood is that he wouldn't, because the news would get ahead of the spin and make him a hero before anyone could really make him out to be a villain.
See, I agree and disagree. I think that there would be the way American media is working these days, there will be 24 hours of him a hero.
Yeah.
And then as we learn about whatever slight indiscretion this person has had in their lives,
right.
the next week becomes about, like, oh, did you know he didn't pay child support in Mexico?
Yeah.
It's just like, well, fuck him then. Like,
he doesn't deserve to
I've
stay.
never done anything that bad.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, in the end, it comes down to this: is everyone expects more from immigrants as a whole. It's not enough to just be equal to you, to just be here and be a tax-paying member of society. You need to do something special. But as I pointed out to you earlier, even that's not enough. Because, by the way, folks, 50 veterans, over 50 veterans, people who have served in Afghanistan and Iraq over the last 2 decades have been deported along with their families because they were here illegally.
Yeah, there was one that was happening at Christmas time.
Yeah.
Like the Michigan veteran.
Took him away from his family at Christmas, deported him back to his country of choice after 2 tours in Afghanistan and 1 tour in Iraq.
And he never lived there.
No. I think he was injured in one of those tours as well.
Yeah.
I believe he had a Purple Heart, which means he got injured in battle. But no, never lived in Mexico or wherever it was he was from.
Right.
Brought here as a child. Doesn't remember being there at all. Brought here as a child. Deported. That's the country you live in. Where we, as long as you're a hero of a certain variety, we venerate you only for the 24-hour news cycle. Then you become a demon and we deport you. Stop. Again, like I said about the French, most of you could not pass the citizenship exam if I gave it to you right now. If I asked you to tell me 10 facts about Andrew Jackson, I'm not sure that most people, I'm not sure 50% of people could know that he was a president.
I think people would know he's the president. I don't imagine you could get any other piece of information out of people other than that.
Alternatively, if I asked which bill denomination does not have a president on it, do you think people would be able to name it?
Name it or name the person who's...
Name the person.
Yeah, I mean, like, low, but I think there would
do
be
you know
some...
which denomination doesn't?
It's Hamilton on the 10.
It's good.
Yeah.
He wasn't a president. Not the only one, though, by the way. Also,
Franklin.
Ben
Yeah,
on
on
the 100.
Yeah.
Yes, but yes. I actually thought that you were going to go with Franklin because that's like the most obvious one. But
yeah, I didn't think about it right away because I don't see that many hundreds in my life. But
I don't roll like that.
I don't roll hundos,
like
so I don't know. I get a lot of 10s. I see 10s.
You do see a lot of 10s. But I mean, there's basic questions on citizenship, like. Why is the flag red? Why does the flag look the way it does? Why are there 50 white stars on a blue field with 13 red and white stripes?
Like, specifically, why is there?
You know?
So, well, 50 states for the stars, and then the 13 original colonies are the red and white.
Yep.
I don't know the significance of the colors.
Deep. There you go.
Yeah. So I didn't pass.
You would not be a citizen.
Apparently
but
because
because I almost use really vulgar terms. Because you were born here.
Right.
You have the blessings of that, and I'm tired of.
But I mean, like, I don't even know. So I think a big part of this problem comes back to people wanting to feel superior to others.
Oh, of course, yeah.
And I think a lot of the issues that we're talking about go back to this because, like, it's. I remember for a while there was like a one-upsmanship on issues that you were concerned about.
Yeah.
So like it'd be like the type of thing like if I said, I really I want to do everything I can personally to make sure that the Baltimore Inner Harbor is clean, that you could swim in it, fish in it, like like it would be completely clean of sewage, which it's not. And by the way, hearts out to Elegant City.
Yeah.
But. Like I could say like, like this is the most important issue to me. This is the biggest thing. And then you would be like, how dare you carry yourself about the Inner Harbor when there are 1,500 children who've been separated from ICE? And I'm just like, I'm not saying that's not a big issue too. It's like, oh no, but apparently the lives of the 1,500 children isn't anywhere near as serious. It doesn't even matter to you. All that matters to you is cleaning the stupid harbor, which would benefit nobody except for your stupid conceited piece of shit ego. And like, then it becomes like a conflict about like who cares more about the underprivileged and who
clearly I care about them
it's
more.
Like you keep bringing up the Trump animals thing.
Yes.
And it's not that I don't think that it's awful, but I think that the time that we spend getting outraged by that comment could be that's like one of the least worst things he's ever said.
True.
And like one of the least like I could easily tell you, I could find you a New York guy who's just like, if he saw somebody pickpocket somebody, go like, oh, that animal ran off, like, and you wouldn't think that there's any racial bias associated with that. But
Right.
I'm saying like it could there. Just because he said something terrible doesn't mean we have to bring it up every fucking time. And just because we don't get morally outraged by every little fucking thing doesn't mean that we're not morally outraged, generally speaking. I think we just need to be able to, like, learn. We need to be able to, like, handle issues one at a time. What's the most important thing? What can we deal with right now? What can we fix? And then move on to the next thing.
All I'm saying is if you really care about poor people, reject capitalism. Check out Capital by Karl Marx. It'll change your mind.
Is that all you got? Just catching another face for the
Screen cap. Yes.
Well, I think we've done enough social justice for one day.
Okay.
You know where you can find more of it though if you haven't had your fill.
Where's that?
OTheAnthem.com, Corey to OTheAnthem.com. O The Anthem on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and the listener line 443-219-7595.
What's the number again?
443-219-7595. And you can find more of me at CoreyBakerFilmmaker.com, Facebook.com/CoreyBakerFilm, and at LegendCB5 on Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat. Go check out the Avengers Infinity War review. I'm going to go see a movie at some point this week, so I'll do another review, and you will enjoy it, or else.
Yeah. We're gonna
or else, yeah.
We got to take advantage of MoviePass because I'm not sure how long that company's going to be around for.
I only got an infusion of capital today. So.
Yeah, I think that's more about paying debt than it is. I mean, it might be one of those Bain Capital Mitt Romney situations.
But again,
they got something to sell.
I was talking about again real quick. I was talking about this earlier today with my father too. Like Netflix is more valuable than Disney, but Disney has fucking assets. Like,
yes.
You know, like at the end of the day, if MoviePass goes under, they have nothing they can sell to try and like.
Ooh, they have your data.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying
a lot of data on us.
Yeah, but I'm saying Netflix and MoviePass has something that they can sell to somebody who is interested in buying the data, but it's not like ESPN. Like Disney could just at any point just sell ESPN.
True.
And make money off of it. I mean, maybe not that much money, but you know.
Well, in the meantime, you can find more of me at Robert N. Cheek on all your social networks. Make sure you check out robertncheek.com where you can find links to my political blog, findingthefuture.us, the news website, and the books, which are available on Amazon.
Barrow's Books.
Thank you, sir. And of course, if you'd like to support everything that I'm doing, and I'm going to send another special message out to everyone who gave me shit about the message I've sent out for the last 2 weeks about how stop being so ungrateful. Listen, assholes. You were saying, "Oh, welcome back home."
Bold strategy, Con. Let's see if it works.
All I'm saying is my complaint the last 2 weeks were if half of you people who are like, "Oh, it's okay, come back to Maryland," bought a book or spent $1 a month on Patreon or got access to any kind of bonus stuff, I wouldn't have to have this little speech with you. And now you're going to give me shit about giving you shit about not supporting the things that people do. So now the cycle continues. I'm giving you shit about it. But you can find me on Patreon, patreon.com/Robert N. Cheek, where for as little as $1 a month, you can get access to all sorts of bonus materials, poems and books, and never before seen screenplays, and a whole bunch of other stuff. So make sure you check that out. And I would really like to get started on the Rob Explains Everything series.
Yeah.
Since we've talked about Puerto Rico once again, I think it's an apt time to do it. So I think that will be the project for this coming weekend.
By the way, I have been thinking about what you were saying though, in terms of like all the people's bands who I've seen.
Yes.
Like I've gone to so many shows to like support my friends, and then like you'll hear like I'll be like, "Oh, I talked about that on the podcast." It's like, "Oh yeah, I haven't listened to your podcast yet." I'm just
it's
like,
free.
I've gone to like 15 of your shows.
I bought how many of those CDRWs did I buy for $15?
Yeah.
You can't buy a book. A reasonably priced book, it's less than $10. The new one's less than $10, and I get all of the profit from that. No publisher, just me. Support me.
I do think it would be funny though when you win like an Oscar or something like one day, or like your New York Times bestseller, and then all the people who are like the same people who are like sending you the messages like, oh, you're coming home, things didn't work out, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Like then they're going like, hey, so I have a really great idea for a book or a movie that I'd like to get to.
Hey, let's talk about this in a format that's not recorded so I can steal your idea and pay you nothing for it. Yeah. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Well, I think we done good here today.
Right up until the end.
Right there at the razor's edge.
I think we've done something. I don't know if it's good. But as always, you're listening to the O The Anthem podcast, part of the O The Anthem digital network. For Corey, this is Rob. Have a great week, everybody.
And everyone back in Maryland, stay safe and dry.
Yes. By the way, 2,000-year floods. Back-to-back years.
Yeah. Who would have thought it?
Who would have thought?